We've had a lot of questions about the workshop and people wanting to see more of it. And since part of the RFQ process, which is still open through March 20th at 11:59 p.m., includes information about how you can come work with us here, we thought we'd show you this week what we have to offer. So we're going to do a walkthrough of the shop and show you the individual areas. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll try to answer everything anybody has. So to start out with, we come in, we've got a big bay here where we can work with big items, bring cars in, anything like that. So we have some big space that we try to keep open for individual setups. Like this big mushroom behind me. We built that here. It's nice to have the room to do big, weird stuff like that. The shop is generally broken out into sections. So we're going to walk through first what's kind of the metalworking section. It's nice to have this stuff a little bit separate. We don't have a big lathe or mill, but we do have this great little metal lathe and metal mill, which are fantastic for metal and also great for plastic. I've done a lot of machining plastic here. It's not everything you see in a whole big shop, but we got a lot here. So then coming around this way, we have the wood lathe, a couple drill presses, a whole bunch of scrap metal here and scrap aluminum. Some of it's in here, some of it's elsewhere. We do have oxy-acetylene torch. We have a TIG welder. We have a MIG welder, a great big hydraulic press, and this belt grinder, which is like the most versatile thing in the shop. I swear I use this all the time. It is fantastic. If you've ever had a chance to play with a belt grinder, you can do almost anything with it. And we use it with both the metal and the wood and all of the above. And this cool welding table I found at a scrapyard. We've got a great scrapyard just a few blocks away. And I've been really lucky to find some cool stuff up there, like this table and those big pallet racks we have at the far end. So that's the metalworking area. And if there was some project or some idea for the spaceship that required something we don't have, we know a lot of people. It's nice living in a small town that we can make friends. So if you need something that requires cutting it out on a plasma table, hey, we know folks, and we're happy to hook you up with that. So over here to my left is the office that you saw us build last month, December, January anyway, so a couple months ago. And then past that is some of our storage. We'll look at that in a minute, but we're gonna come back through this way to this wall of clamps because you can never have too many clamps. And some of the hardware. I've been really lucky to get everything organized in a process that's literally taken years, but we have so much hardware and so many weird little odds and ends and tools, and almost everything in here is really pretty organized. Also have stuff like a scroll saw, another band saw, another drill press, and then coming over this way into past the sanding storage, this is kind of the electronics section. Lots of wiring, soldering iron, wiring tools. In the couple of builds that we've done with Sugar High, the Sugar High trailer, a few other things, being able to just connect a bunch of LED lights and do that kind of simple wiring has been a lifesaver. We know how to do that, and we're happy to show you how to do that if that's not something you know but you want to learn. Generally, we want to work with folks. Behind me, right to my right, over my shoulder over here, is one of the pegboard walls. So many hand tools. Some of this stuff has been hanging around since, you know, my dad was in his 20s when he started being a woodworker a long time ago. We have this big wood working bench here that I built a few years ago with a big vise on one side and all the cordless stuff underneath it. Once you buy into one battery system, you kind of have to keep buying that. So we have a lot of DeWalt cordless tools and lots of batteries to go with it. Again, all stuff we're happy to share with other folks. We have opposite all this, well, in the middle we have got this great big workbench. This thing is fantastic. It's almost always covered in a project, then we clean it off and start another. And then back over here we have more parts bins, all pretty well organized, and this aisle and that aisle have so much stuff. So part of this project, we've been acquiring cool things, stuff that could be turned into other stuff, because that's kind of how the creative process works sometimes. I don't know how we're going to use this old enlarger, but look at it. It's beautiful. I can imagine turning it into a lot of different things. So we have, over the last 6 months or so, been acquiring a bunch of stuff like that, knowing we were going to work on a spaceship, that then can be turned into something else. And we want people to come in here and dig around. These boxes down here are full of vintage aircraft fasteners and hardware. Stuff that gives it that look of verisimilitude, makes it feel a little more real. And yeah, it's a spaceship, not an old aircraft, but you know, it's cool. And that's what we're going for. Going down here, we're happy to get people to come in and dig around here. And then if you're working on a project, if you have some idea, hey, I'm looking for one of these. I'm looking for some old audio equipment that I can steal all the switches and the console off of. Hey, let us know. Put it in the comments, send us an email. We want to help you find what you need to make your submission the coolest version of a spaceship piece that you can. Every woodworking shop needs a great table saw. It's kind of the center of everything. And we have a phenomenal 3-horsepower saw stop. This thing is a beast with the sliding crosscut and the router table in the end. If you do anything with wood or even, you know, aluminum or plastic sometimes, this thing is incredible. We're really fortunate to have it. There's even more part storage in another aisle, stuff organized more by, you know, like all the plumbing stuff together and all the electrical stuff together. Lots to work with. And then above it, we're putting these beautiful panels. This came out of Sugar High. We had 12 windows in Sugar High and made these plastic panels that Tox Murillo, who's doing the outside of the spaceship, did this incredible design on. He actually painted both sides so you could see it inside and outside. Since Sugar High was over, it's just been in storage. But we're building this big wall here right now, which is why there's still stuff spread out everywhere, to show off this incredible work that Tox did before we really don't have room to get up there. And what I mean is we're gonna have right here a huge 5-foot by 8-foot shop bot. It's a CNC machine. So if you can design it in Illustrator, in Photoshop, and whatever software you use, and export an SVG file or lots of other things, we can cut it out for you. And not only can we cut out big stuff, we could do it with a high degree of accuracy. And because the machine we got has a big vacuum hold down table and an automatic tool changer, it goes fast. You can actually have it hog out the bulk of the material with one bit and then come back with another and do the fine detail work. The result is we have this huge piece of equipment that'll be here in just a couple weeks. And we want to make this beautiful piece of hardware accessible to anybody who wants to work with us. So reach out and let us know. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below or send us an email. And we're happy to talk to you about how you can get over here or how we can help you fabricate material for this or maybe some other project. A couple other things to note before we go. We do have this other great big bandsaw. And then over here, we have even more storage with lots of our audio equipment for when we do concerts outside, but also stuff like a planer and a drum sander and a big radial arm, and even more storage for plywood and material for this massive CNC machine that's going to be here very, very soon. So that's our workshop. We're really lucky to have this much room. Not only this, we have a huge yard around it that's fenced in, so we can be building a spaceship and know we can have this safe place to work. We're really lucky, and we know we're lucky, and we want to share it with you. So please submit to the RFQ. Responses are open through March 20th, and let us know if you have any questions at all. Thank you.